morning, everyone. It is Friday, April the 10th, and it's big time. First of all, no changes to the National Terrorism Advisory System overnight. Snapshot of the region this morning. You see the updated numbers from the unaccompanied children down in the Rio Grande Valley as of Monday. No declaration updates to talk about this morning. No damage assessment, and no fire management grant requests. As we switch over to the Geo platform this morning, got some rain out there. Trevor from the Weather Service is going to talk about that in just a moment. But before we go there, no changes to the status of our state EOCs. 4 are at level 4. Arkansas is still at level 3. The region here is at enhanced watch, and no changes to the status of our IMAX. No changes to the status of small earthquakes north of Oklahoma City or in the Irving area. But overnight we did have a possible tornado touchdown near Longview. There was damage to the roof of a nursing home that had approximately 66 residents in. They were evacuated out of that facility. Most of them went to another extended care facility, and about 20 of them went to a hospital. No request for assistance from Texas. Louisiana is not reporting any damages. Arkansas is reporting some hail and wind damage, and again, no request for federal assistance on any of those. Now over to Trevor at the Weather Service.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Just to follow up on what was just said about the tornado. Yeah, there was, looks like there may be one there in Longview. It's yet to be confirmed. They're going to be sending out survey teams today from the Shreveport Weather Service office to follow up on that and follow up on some other damage that was around the Tyler area. So hopefully we'll get some updates on that later today. As far as this for today, we're looking at some elevated fire weather concerns out in west central New Mexico. And then you can see on radar right now we've got some rainfall that's currently over south central Texas. Some of that has resulted in some very minor flooding. They've issued a couple aerial flood advisories resulting in that, but really widespread flooding is not expected with that as it continues to push eastward. And then you can see up in northern Louisiana that we have some showers and storms that are exiting, that are really remnant from yesterday's activity and that cold front associated with that. So looking forward to today, there is a slight risk for severe weather, mostly in South Texas and southern Louisiana as that cold front continues to push through very slowly. The fire weather concerns, again, that says east central, but it should say west central New Mexico. And that's really it. We're not thinking much of a tornado threat today, more of a damaging wind and hail threat associated with the slight risks in those two areas. So then we'll be moving into a somewhat active weekend, but not really in the way of severity. It looks like just some marginally severe weather may be possible up in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles on Saturday, and then south central Texas and northern Oklahoma on Sunday. So widespread showers and storms may occur, but widespread severe does not appear likely at the moment. The fire weather concerns in New Mexico will then shift to the east on Saturday, and then we'll get a reprieve as some rain is expected in their area beginning at the end of the weekend and into next week. It does look like as we move into the next week that we do have an active pattern. It's a little unclear. We'll jump into the day one hazards first. I forgot this slide. This is just showing what we already talked about a little bit with the fire weather concerns in west central New Mexico. And the two regions, as you see there, are where we're expecting some of the slight risk of severe weather today. And shower activity and storm activity are still possible along the Texas Gulf Coast, but not expecting much in severity along with that. So moving forward, we'll talk about what's going to be happening here in the next couple days. The marginally severe storms again this weekend, but then again for the active weather pattern for next week, that's where we're considering possibly some flooding along the Mississippi River Valley and the Mississippi River Delta. as significant rains do look possible, maybe on the order of up to 4 inches over the next over the Monday through Thursday period. It really depends on where the heavy rains are going to be falling and how long they'll be falling. It's kind of difficult to pinpoint that more than 3 days out at the moment, but it does look like the region that would be seeing the most significant rainfall will probably be in the Louisiana area and maybe in southern Arkansas as well. And then that will start to shift eastward as you move into the midweek. So looking at the drought monitor, we are seeing, again, the same situation as we were seeing the last few weeks now with the central Texas and northern Texas, Oklahoma areas seeing really severe drought, and we are, extreme drought, and it hasn't, the conditions have not improved really in the last week, and with most of the rain being forecast in East Texas and Louisiana, it doesn't look like there will be a whole lot of reprieve from that. Hopefully some of that activity in the rain will actually impact some parts of central Texas, so maybe that area may see some improvement next week, but we'll wait to see what happens with that. And then for space weather, we actually had a G1 magnetic storm that from tonight, but it will be on the last night, but it'll be waning now, and we'll be moving back into a quiet pattern. It didn't result in much as far as impacts, as we haven't had any reports of any radio blackouts or anything like that. And moving into the weekend, we'll be looking at a pretty quiet pattern with max KPs of only about 2. So that's what we got for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate that. If you have any questions for the weather service, go ahead and type those in the chat window. If you're on the phone, just ask your questions. In the meantime, we have no meetings scheduled for today in the region. But on this day in history, terrible Tuesday, 1979, Wichita Falls and Vernon, Texas. And we pulled one picture from last night's storms in the Longview area that appears to be that nursing home that lost parts of their roof. So, any questions this morning? All right, so no one typed it in the chat window and nothing on the phone. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.